So very strong position in feature phones. We shipped about 300 million chipsets for feature phones last year. That is a very strong #1 market share in the feature phone space. In fact, MediaTek's revenue was up about 37% year on year last year based on this transition. But in terms of smartphones, we shipped over 220 million chipsets for smartphones last year, which is probably about 30% of the overall Android market. And I've had the privilege over the last year to come to India a few times to talk about some various steps in MediaTek's journey. About a year and a half ago, I was here talking about our first quad-core smartphone platform, which was kind of I think a major technology breakthrough at the point. It was the first quad-core 3G smartphone platform, and that really drove a lot of the high-end growth for us and our partners like Micromax last year in the smartphone segment. Over the last year, we've launched a whole range of products from dual-core, second-generation quad-core, octa-core products for smartphones, really filling out a very broad range of products and technologies for the smartphone, the 3G smartphone era. We also have strong platforms for tablets, and then we also deliver platforms for things like data modems, data dongles, etc. The success, I think, of MediaTek, and I think the mission that MediaTek has always tried to drive, and what drives us every day, is about trying to enrich everyone's lives with technology, right? And I think that mission is shared with partners like Micromax. And I think the piece that's very interesting in what we're talking about today is it's recognizing that it's not just about the technology, and it's not just about the products, although both are important, but you have to seamlessly connect that with the experience, and that's where I think Aircell brings the three elements of the partnership together, of actually delivering those devices to the consumers with the data packages, with the connectivity that allows the consumer to experience what those devices can enable. And then if we're being successful, that will make them successful and enrich their lives. As a company, we're certainly seeing a shift in the market, and we as a company have talked a lot about how we see the market evolving in the next couple of years. I think on a global basis, we certainly see the shift to data, the shift to smartphones, the shift to tablets. And we've seen, I think, this happen in multiple markets, but clearly India is kind of on the verge of like blowing open here in terms of, I think, smartphone adoption, 3G data penetration, consumer experience of the mobile internet. And I think it's going to be a very, very exciting year for us in that. We talk about the market becoming what we call a super mid market. So I think globally there has historically been, a high volume entry market and a high volume premium market, maybe subsidized by operators in other markets. And as we see these effects of a rising middle class in various markets, China, India, Southeast Asia, and maybe the elimination of subsidies from operators at the high end, we see the market converging more towards what we call the super mid. So it's I think a very exciting time for the industry. I think it's a very exciting time for technology providers like us, because we see that the markets are shifting, the consumer appetite for that experience is there. And that's what drives us every day to sort of deliver that promise and deliver that vision for the consumers. I think getting to the specifics of the announcement that we're three partners are making today, I think what you'll see is a very interesting range of products, right? So we're talking about data modem products, we're talking about smartphone products, tablet products, even feature phone products. So again, trying to deliver that range of products that appeal to different consumers, maybe with different price points. But again, not just focusing on the technology, because smartphones, the feature phones, the tablet platforms that we deliver, not just focusing on the devices that Micromax is delivering to the market, but connecting, the third partner, Aircell there, again, which is, I think, a a very critical piece of making this breakthrough of getting these devices into the consumer's hands, getting the consumers to experience that connected mobile internet experience, and really, like I said earlier, trying to enrich and enhance everyone's lives. So it's a very exciting time. We're very happy to be here. We're very happy to be here to support our partners, Micromax and Aircel, in this exciting venture. And I think we're going to see a lot more growth and a lot more excitement in the market in the next couple of months. So hopefully I'll be back here in a little while and we'll be seeing the progress of some of these partnerships and some of these initiatives. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to all of you. If you look at the market, the overall telecom market is growing at about 10 to 12% per annum. However, the data, which today for most operators contributes about between 8 to 9%, is growing at about 60–70%, which means that of the incremental revenue which any operator is going to make out of the market, nearly 45 to 50% of the market will come in from data. So that's a change which is happening now, which was probably not the case earlier. So though data still contributes about 10% of the business of all operators, but of the incremental business, it's starting to contribute 40 to 45%. Now that's important as a step one change because that sets the precedence that how the market and how the consumers have started to evolve. Now if that's happening, there obviously has to be a change in the way we do things. The classical old method of working in isolation doesn't work because unlike voice, data is consumed a bit differently. Data is a very wide term for many things. Voice is very simple. You call up a guy and talk to him. Data can mean many things. And therefore, it is used in the simple world called data, but it is very, very complicated. It incorporates e-commerce to healthcare, to banking, to consumption of internet, to entertainment, to music. There's just a wide variety of things we can do. Now, in that context, obviously consumers will need to be educated and told on what all things they can do. Some things they're picking up on their own, some things need to be brought about. Technology needs to come together. And therefore, it's very imperative for all the partners in that sense to start coming together to help make sure that we're able to grow and educate the customers and offer them a proposition which is just not just simple tariff plans or a good device. Now you need to offer them solutions. So we're not selling tariff plans anymore. We're not selling a device anymore. We're selling consumer solutions. And consumer solutions means you need to sell it as an integrated play. And that's why I think we are working with other players in the ecosystem to ensure that this business starts becoming more integrated. We start coming together, developing common plans, because that's the way we as an overall growth will happen. The government has declared, the people have declared that they would want more internet, they would want more consumption, they can do many things, because you can imagine how things are going to change with a connected world, and everybody wants to get connected. So we just need to ensure that it all gets connected equally and the power to the consumer really grows. And that's the power which the whole partnership can bring together. Now in that context, I think important to understand why at Aircel we believe this is an important part of our business. Aircel, as you know, was the first player which kind of introduced the whole concept of pocket internet when it launched many years ago. And therefore we kind of started the whole belief that the data revolution was around, which was 5 years ago. And I think we have continued to build on that as we go forward. And we have launched a lot of products to help drive that business. Now, things like tie-ups with, for example, we have worked with Wikipedia for ensuring that all customers who use Wikipedia can use it free of cost. And Wikipedia, and just another way for consumers to know what's happening around the world, and allowing the customer that experience that you don't have to judge, or you don't need to be locked in if you don't have information. Go to Wikipedia, check it out. So those are other experiences for consumers to start understanding what all they can do with the power of the internet. So introduction of Wikipedia, we're tying up with our other part, with Micromax in our earlier deal to ensure that we're able to provide 3G phones to our customers. And that becomes a great driver for us for doing that. We've also launched something called Aircel Bookmate, which I don't know how many of you are aware of, is really about people to actually start consuming books on the phone, on the go, magazines on the go, a service available for them to consume content of books, library education. So we try to take education literacy part of the whole part as well in our program of whether it's Wikipedia, whether it's books, to ensure that with the internet, so ensuring that the youth and the young of today can actually access things which are valuable to them. So growth of providing great content to the customers, providing great value pricing to the customers, at the same time continuing to grow our 3G business. Because the important part of this is that as consumption on the data moves to video, because that's the biggest driver of entertainment in the country, which is a completely entertainment-starved country, you find that video will grow rapidly. And with the growth of video, will require us to kind of grow the 3G footprint. And that's what we're starting to see now, that video is starting to consume more and more. And that's driving a lot of people to actually jumpstart and grow it even faster. Because video does one more thing which actually, many things haven't done. It breaks the language barrier. And in a country like India where internet was limited to English, video has broken that barrier. And with growth of video and 3G, I think the growth of the data ecosystem will probably be even faster than we examine today. And pictures speak louder than words, and you'll find that is what we will find a big change happening in the market as you go by. So I think the challenge, therefore, for us as operators is to work with partners to ensure that we're able to provide a device which allows the consumers to view the video which he wants. The technology partner ensure that it's coming in at good speeds, because we have to invest in the bandwidth and the backhaul to ensure that the customer experience is also good. So all the three partners need to kind of work together to ensure we provide this as an optimal price to the consumer so that he's able to use and consume content on the go all the time. And I think that's where this great game and this play is going to happen with us going forward. So that's all I have to say at this point. I think this is the start of the growth of new partnerships. It's important that we work together, and our successful partnership with Micromax in the past has always worked for us. So we're kind of continuing that partnership going forward and continuing to grow and invest really in growing the data business in the coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vasudev.
Some great insights both by Dr. Finbar and Anupam over here. And I would just like to add a small brief about what are we trying to do by putting this association together. We've had multiple times this word ecosystem come up in various communications given by multiple brands, by multiple partners. But what exactly are we trying to do over here is trying to keep consumer as a center focus and then try and deliver something which will give him the experience that he's always yearned for. We all know that India is not a greatly wired country, and wireless is the way to go. And as we get into more of communication needs of the consumer, wireless is the only offering available. And as we get into that, obviously the price that is available to the consumer at which he can experience that also plays a focal point. So we thought it would be a great partnership if we can get the technology from MediaTek, if we can get a great connectivity and a data pack and voice packs from Aircel, and we can get some good devices of Micromax put together and give the consumer an out-of-the-box experience. So what we are trying to do over here is bring out great devices, which are obviously powered by the superior technology of MediaTek, be it the quad cores, the dual cores, the exceptional feature phone experiences, the dongles, the tablets, on a superior connectivity of Aircel, provided across India, be it a 2G network or a 3G network. And then obviously a lot of content that Aircel centrally has been powering within the ecosystem. Put them up on the Micromax devices, put up more apps that the consumer can acquire, and then go to the market and give him an out-of-the-box experience. What this does is, basically we've been talking about why the consumer should be adopting data, but knowing the Indian consumer, obviously there's an initial hitch once he puts in the money up front. So over here, Aircel has been gracious enough to provide those data packs and the voice packs as well as the apps free of cost to the end consumer, basically propelling him to see the experience that he's so desired. Does he get under this partnership? And obviously, if he gets that partnership, if he gets that experience in the partnership going, then obviously over a period of time, he will start paying for that. But in short, I think aligning with the vision of the government, aligning with the vision of all the partners of the ecosystem, what we are trying to do is we are trying to propel the end consumer to have a push for adopting data and data on the move. I think that's what is the partnership all about. Thank you.
And I'm sure this seems to be an amazing deal for the end customer.